Hey everybody, Nick Espinoza, your chief security fanatic here, and today we've got to talk about China, because China is apparently a quote-unquote unparalleled cyber threat. Now, we could make a drinking game out of the amount of videos and podcasts I've done, but this is actually some new information coming from ABC News, courtesy of Luke Barr. Thank you, Luke, for this. This is actually interesting because the Chinese national cyber threat is unparalleled, as I mentioned, by any other national security challenge seen by the United States. Now, that's according to FBI Director Christopher Wray. Quote, "They've got a bigger hacking program than every other nation. There's no country that presents a more significant threat to our innovation, our ideas, our economic security, our national security than the Chinese government. And that's why we've grown the number of investigations into threats from China by about 1,300%. Now, on top of this, the Chinese government has also taken steps to intimidate expatriates here in the United States who basically speak out against China's domestic crackdowns on civil liberties and aggressive international posture. They're an authoritarian nation. I've done video after video of this, just talking about the things, everything from social media scoring to censorship and on and on and on, not to mention their hacking game, which is quite honestly fantastic. But last week, and I talked about this, actually I want to say like about a week to a month ago or so, the FBI actually just arrested two men for operating an illegal Chinese police station in New York City, which the Department of Justice says was set up to harass dissidents in the United States. Now, they set up these not quite consulates publicly as, oh, if you're a Chinese national living in, let's say, New York City or Chicago or LA or wherever there's a large Chinese population, you can go in there to, let's say, renew your Chinese driver's license, those kinds of things. But they've been used basically as detention centers for harassment, all this other stuff. Like I said, I did a video and podcast on that. Go check that one out. Now, China has been ramping up its technological abilities in recent months, and there's a national push that basically was encapsulated by that Chinese spy balloon that I talked about, wrote about, all those different kinds of things as well. Now, there's a Chinese blimp, apparently, not to mention other things. It shows both good and bad regarding their surveillance capabilities and their satellites, and that's a whole other thing. But China, according to Director Wray, is just the tip of the iceberg. Quote, "China's not the only challenge in cyberspace, not even close." He's noted that the FBI is investigating over 100 different ransomware variants. Quote, "So in addition to China, countries like Russia, Iran, North Korea, and it's getting more and more challenging to discern where the nation state threats end and the cyber criminal threats begin." Now, I think that is something that is absolutely important. We have seen a blending, especially in Russia. I've written about this for Forbes. I've talked about this over the years on my radio show, not to mention here on this video and podcast, on essentially that, where, you see these cyber criminal gangs essentially having alliances or straight up on the payroll of the governments that are giving them shelter. Look at REvil. They were very famously arrested a couple of weeks before the actual invasion of Ukraine last year, and we know that they got put back to work. Immediately, the United States asked for extradition. We knew we were never going to get that, and REvil basically disappeared. But we know they're still around, and we know that they're working for the Russian government. Basically not to just further the war effort, but these are cash cows. When you've got these gangs making $100+ million every single year, just ripping off American businesses. Not to mention, we were talking about the Chinese side on the intellectual property theft. We had a Chinese national literally steal the autopilot program from Tesla, and when he was a Tesla employee, upload it to his iCloud account, quit, and then go work for Tesla's largest competitor in China. We had basically a railroad company who had proprietary designs and schematics stolen by a Chinese national, and guess where he's working now? That's right, the Chinese National Railroad Company, whatever they're called. This is a huge, huge problem. And so I'll leave you with this, because FBI Director Christopher Wray said that the, quote, "unbelievably dangerous," end quote, nature of the dark web could imperil individuals via coordinated criminal activity. And that is what we are talking about here. We are ramping up these infections. Everybody's hacking everybody. And as I've written, again, for Forbes, I've talked about here, we are also experiencing cybersecurity personnel burnout, which isn't making this good. I mean, you're not able to get your budgets. You're not able to staff your teams. Hacking continues to increase, which means the CISOs of the world, the veterans are basically timing out. They're saying, I'm not going to take responsibility for this anymore. I've been yelling till I'm blue in the face. I can't get the budget. I'm just going to go quit, and I don't don't know, open up a doggy daycare. It's a lot more relaxing, whatever that is. Maybe take my money, go sit on a beach. I don't know. But we have a serious problem, and it's only getting worse, not to mention disinformation and all of those things. I'm not trying to be a Debbie Downer here, but if we don't recognize these things, we can't start filtering, training, educating ourselves and everybody around us, whether it's work, home, school, whatever it is. We're going to be put into a precarious position because China's not going to stop. North Korea, Iran, Russia, they're not going to stop, and everybody else. And so by virtue of that, we've got to protect ourselves. We've got to be aware. And, I don't think I'm close to burning out, but, I'm tired of having to tell everybody this, and I will keep on rolling because that's my job. And so just please keep staying tuned, and as always, feel free to subscribe. And there you go. And please like, share, subscribe to me here at Facebook and Twitter at NickAESP, and subscribe to me at YouTube as well. I can always use the followers. And as always, stay safe, stay online, and please attempt to stay private and educate everybody you know. Thanks, everybody.